Dearest gentle reader, my name is Lady Palomi,
And my name is Lady Ellie.
and we are two best friends that burn for the Regency era and the world of Bridgerton, both the book series and the Netflix show.
Each week, join us for tea time as we do an episode rewatch and chat about our reactions, our theories, and our obsession over all things Bridgerton.
And even some modern happenings that are Bridgerton adjacent.
Welcome to the ton.
This is Out in Society. Welcome to Theory Tea Time.
Yes, I've been waiting for this episode. I've been telling P since the beginning. I want to do a season 4 theories.
Which I'm excited about, but I will be completely honest. This is going to go either one of two ways. Either
It's going to be like the last time.
Well, yeah. I'm always like, I don't have much to say. And then by the end of the episode, I'm like unhinged talking about like, and then this guy dies.
That's my favorite.
I do have notes for you, Ellie, though. Like I'm ready. I even wrote down every single one of the Bridgerton siblings, and I was like, this is what will happen to them this season, in my
That's a good
opinion.
idea. I didn't do that, but that's smart.
Thanks, babes.
You're a smart one.
As long as you think so.
I do.
That's all that matters. For those of you that did not tune into Theory Time last time, just know that we get a little crazy with this, but we are definitely talking about book plot points. So if you are not interested in finding out what happens to these Bridgerton siblings in the future, anything that happens in the books because you haven't read them yet, especially Benedict, Francesca, and Eloise, please go ahead and stop listening, and we will catch you next time because we have a lot to say about that.
Yes, we'll see you next Tuesday, guys.
Always excited for the theory episode. So I say, Ellie, you go first. Go off, girl.
Let me go, guys. I'm running with it. Okay, here we go. I agree with the masses. I'm praying this season is for our boy Benedict. That is like my number one thing I put on my list. It's Benedict's season.
Same. Absolutely same. Oh, by the way, side note, we did ask last episode and on all our social media platforms that if you have any theories or if you have anything you want to add to this episode, please send us comments, and we actually got some. So we are going to go ahead and tell you what has been going through our brains, and then we're going to read you some of those comments too.
Yes.
So that's just a little side note.
Yes, we're going to give some voices to the masses. So yes, I believe it's going to be Benedict's season, and I think we're gonna get a sprinkle of John and Fran. Those are like my two key people, kind of like how we got sprinkles of Fran and John in this season. I think we're gonna continue that narrative next season as well.
I love that idea. Someone wrote it out as there's always a main couple and a debut.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the way that it's been going. I personally don't think there will be a debut next season, but
yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I don't think so, but we shall see.
Yes. So yes, that's my theory. My next theory is Marina is gonna die this season. I'm putting it out there. She's dying.
Are they gonna make it a big thing, or are they just gonna be like, by the way, Marina died?
I feel like they're not going to make it a big thing, but they are going to make it like a big news. Like, I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think we're going to witness it. I don't even think we're going to see like Sir Philip being upset about it until it's that time. But I do think it's going to be maybe like Lady Bridgerton's going to be like, oh, because, or maybe, I don't know, because in this show, they're not family. In the books, they're family. So I keep going back to that. So maybe Penelope might write about it or something in Lady Whistledown because they're cousins in here. So see, my theory is growing as I talk about it.
Oh, I love that. And I think maybe that's the reason why they kept saying Miss Thompson, Lady Crane, like this, he brought her up again. So maybe just to be like, hey, remember her?
She's relevant. Yeah, Colin did bring her up a few times. So I think that's what we're going to get. And Penn is going to get the news, and maybe it'll be written in Lady Whistledown as like a little byline, especially because she said she wants to give voices to like the voiceless. And I'm not saying Marina is voiceless, but I feel like she's going to start becoming like a news column, if anything, like reporting on what's happening with the ton.
The TMZ.
Yes, the TMZ of the 1800s, baby.
I love that.
Okay. Obviously, we're also going to see Lady Bridgerton and Lord Anderson. I feel like we're going to see that relationship blossom more. I just feel like it's going to be like the Mondrian story this year. That will be them next year. Just their story growing. That's all I have to say, because I'm not going to say they're going to get married. I don't think anything like that might happen just yet. I don't know. Who knows with this society? But I think we'll see like their relationship growing.
I like that a lot.
Thank you. And then kind of, I guess, going back to my beginning statement, I really think we're going to see the love story between Fran and John. I don't think the Michaela situation is going to be a big issue right now because we still have many years before technically Francesca gets with Michaela. So I think I'm hoping at least we get to see the relationship between Fran and John blossom, even if it's just a little sprinkle side story. But I hope we get to see that love before anything happens to poor John.
I'm hoping for that because the only thing that gets me is why would you cast her and show her? But then even if it was Michael per se, like maybe the pining is the important part. Like we're just supposed to see from afar Michaela is pining for Fran rather
Yeah.
than like I think maybe Fran just had a moment of panic. I don't think she's suddenly going to be like, oh, just kidding, I don't love my husband anymore. Because that would just be crazy.
Yeah, I think especially because in the book, like I think they were married for 3 years. I'm not saying the show's going to give us 3 years of them, but I definitely
Right.
think we're going to see their relationship blossom between Fran and John, and then we might even see that side blossoming of Francesca and Michaela becoming friends, and maybe Francesca not realizing, but obviously she's married. She's not going to divorce her husband to get with Michaela just yet, but we know what happens to John, and I think that might be where the switch in Fran happens when John has passed, like naturally that's when she gives herself the time to be with Michaela. So I think we're just going to see like a lot of blossoming relationships between all three of them.
I think
I don't
that's
think
great.
anything's going to happen to John yet. Maybe by the end of the season, but like I said, in the book, it took 3 years before John technically dies. I think it is. I read this book a few months ago, so it's not 3 years, guys. I'm sorry. Or I think it's 3 years before she gets with Michael. I feel like there's a three in there somewhere.
I don't remember how long they were married, but Michael goes to India for 4 years
Oh,
after the
that's what it
death.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know there's
And
like a
then he comes back.
separation.
Yeah.
Yeah, before even Michael comes back into the whole
It's like a
situation.
very like a long time. And then within those 4 years, she's like, I want to have a baby, and then moves back to London to like re-debut in society.
Yeah, exactly. So they have to give us some space and grace for all of this relationship to blossom between all three of them. So that was my other theory. And then I guess kind of going back again to my Marina dying. I think by the end of the season, I think we're going to start seeing that Eloise is writing to Sir Philip.
Yes. Agreed.
So
I
that's
read
like
that
how
too.
we yeah. And that's how that relationship starts to blossom. And then I kind of just threw this last theory in here because, I just love. I'm like, we need to find a man for Lady Danbury. if Lady Bridgerton
Oh,
can get a man, then get Lady Danbury one if she wants it, because she loves to be her own man sometimes. So if she
interesting.
wants it, let's find her a man or woman
Interesting.
at this point, or woman.
You
Never
know
know.
what? You never know. Wow. Okay. I should have written down what you said, but let me start with the Eloise thing because that's what's sticking in my brain. Okay. I think that Eloise throughout this season is going to be writing to Philip Crane. And what's going to happen is at the end of the season, she's going to run away to
Oh,
his
I like
house.
that. I like that.
Because I think maybe in Scotland, because she's going to get bored, right? Like, what is she going to do there this whole time? I think Marina's going to die while she's in Scotland. She's going to start writing letters to everybody because she's bored out of her mind. And that's why she writes a letter to Philip. And that pen palness starts. I don't think we're going to see a lot. We're just going to see her writing, you know?
Yeah, like the beginning of it all.
Yeah. And then at the end, we'll see the letter like, hey, do you think we'll suit? And then she's like, I'm out.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
And then, oh, Francesca and Michaela, I completely agree. So I think this season, like you would think that a main character's death should be like a plot point.
Mhm.
Maybe what they'll do is like for Francesca's season, they'll say like, he died and now Francesca's a widow. Like we open with Francesca being a widow.
Oh
You know what I
wow. So
mean?
you don't think it'll be an episode? I feel like it'll be an episode of
I
John
feel
dying.
like I feel like it should, but I don't want to see it.
I mean, I would be devastated, but I don't know. I feel like we're learning so much about John, and just even having him in this episode was so much more than we ever got of John in the books that
Yeah.
I feel like they would give him that moment, at least like the last 30 seconds of the episode.
Well, yeah. I don't mean like they're just gonna be like, and then he was dead. I just mean like it's not gonna be like we see him sick for a long time or we see him whatever. Like it's just gonna be like maybe the opening of the season will be, because the way he dies is like they're in Scotland, him and Michael are talking, and Francesca's like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? And he's like, no, I don't feel good. I think I'm gonna lie down. And she's like, okay. And then when they come back from the walk, he's dead. So maybe that's what they'll do. Like episode 1 of Francesca's season is him dying.
Dang.
Boom.
That's boom. I feel like they'll at least give us that scene, like Fran
for sure,
and him saying no, and then her coming back, and boom.
I just mean like it's not going to be a prolonged, like not like he dies in this season and then Francesca season's 2 seasons from now kind of like thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I mean by that. I just don't think it's going to be like so much focus on John dying. But then again, they gave us so much John, like then it would be weird if
I know to just kill him off with nothing. But I'm hoping this season he doesn't die in season 4. I'm hoping it's still just like the growth of him, of their relationship, and then maybe, like you said, maybe season 5 might be a mix of, I don't know, because Fran is starting to just feel like such a side character in a sense, like she hasn't been the lead yet, so it's weird to just see her suddenly the lead.
Right. So I read an interesting thing saying that the production times and all of that stuff is so long that there is a possibility that it might not even get renewed for however many seasons, because it's kind of losing momentum if you think about it. Like right now, we're all crazy about it. 2 years. Okay, great. So we're not going to see, let's say Eloise is after Benedict. We're not going to see Francesca's story for another 4 years.
I hope it doesn't take them this long again.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, that is true when you think about it like that.
So what I'm thinking is they need to like pull back from this whole ensemble cast situation. And I think Eloise and Francesca are the perfect ones to do it with because they take place outside of London. So maybe we do this next season of Benedict. Everything happens in London and Mayfair, whatever, or his cottage or my cottage, right? That's what he calls his house. And then season 5, we run away with Eloise to that place and only see the Bridgertons when they come to get her. And then season 6, we're in Scotland with Francesca, and most of the season just takes place between Francesca and Michaela, and the other side characters are there, but just to be like, this is what's happening in Mayfair, but like not completely ensemble every episode. So maybe that'll make production times less because you can just have 5 cast members that you're like filming.
They need to get on the Game of Thrones program where there's so many stories going on at one time.
But I think instead of that, I think they need to like pare it back. Like I only care about Eloise and Sir Philip Crane in Eloise's season. I don't need to be seeing this person, that person, the Mondriches, the Modiste, all of that kind of stuff. Like it was cool for world building, but now at this point, if you're gonna make me wait 4 years just to see a love story, like just give me the love story.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm like, give it all to me now. Like, if you got to mix Eloise and Francesca in one season, give it to me. Give it to me.
I see. Well, Jess Brownell said every Bridgerton is getting their own season. She's not
God.
mixing.
And if it takes every 2 years to do a season, we're not going to get Gregory till we're 80.
Exactly. So like, if that's what you want to do, I'm going to need you to hurry it up. I'm not waiting for 8 years to watch Hyacinth. That's insane.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, crazy. Hyacinth, I won't care about you then, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I know it would be nice to give a season per character, but it's like, if it's going to take you 2 years to pull these babies out, Lordy, that's going to be a while.
So maybe she'll change her mind. Maybe
what does she do this season? Because there definitely is. I know it's like Colin or Paulin, but it definitely gave us a little Fran, John. There was a lot of that in there too.
Exactly. I think, I mean, I am not a showrunner, so like, what do I know? But I think our friend is finding her footing. It's not the best show running I have ever seen as someone that watches a lot of TV.
I've seen a lot of complaints online too.
I know. So we'll just leave it at that maybe I hope she finds her own in this next one.
Agree.
I'm still mad about that hot air balloon sequence, please. Okay. So now things that we haven't talked about yet. You know, my obsession is who the fuck is Sophie?
Oh yeah. I didn't even think to theorize about her because I really feel like it's going to be genuine. We're going to find this family that has this situation, but we just haven't met them yet. I think it's somebody we haven't met.
So that is I even circled that option here. You see, that's the circled one because I was like, maybe that's it. But then you know me, we got to think harder. Okay, here are our options, Ellie.
Okay.
Sophie, like we said before, related to Amaranta Cowper, part of the staff that we haven't seen, a stepdaughter, or someone they host for the season. Or Sophie is part of the new Gunningworth family that is part of the Ton, just a new story we haven't seen, like you said. That would be the nicest way to tie this all up. Or Sophie is a man, like we said before, Sophie is Steve or whatever the male version is. But I don't see that one happening, actually. So then I was thinking about Cressida, right? Now, we all know how I feel about the Cressida being Sophie theory. We're not even going to entertain it on this podcast, okay? Like, we love Cressida. We love that for her. But with Benedict Bridgerton, please miss me with that. If that happens, because I said this, I swear I'm gonna be.
But you actually just put a quick thought in my mind that I'm going to piggyback off of yours since we're on the Cressida thing. What happens if Cressida comes back from Wales next season and she brings her cousin back and her cousin has a maid named Sophie?
Oh my God, that's part of it.
Oh, look at us.
I said Aunt Jo either has a servant in that house that is the new lady's maid, or she has a cousin that's related to Aunt Jo, and they come back, and it makes sense because it's a masquerade, so people won't even know that Cressida's back because she's going to be wearing a mask too. So the intrigue would be really good because she left in such a hubbub. So I love that theory. I
do like that one too. Yeah,
because I do think she's related to Cressida, and then that goes back to, remember I said Cressida might be like posy, not actually posy, but like kind of posy.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that.
Like the nicer cousin. Like I'm sure like being treated like shit at Aunt Jo's house and finding someone to commiserate with her is going to make her a better person. So
I can see that.
I would love that if that's the case.
And I think even the actress who plays Cressida was kind of even hinting at future Cressida because the way she left, like I would think she's not coming back.
Oh, for sure.
She makes it seem like she is coming back. So Cressida is definitely coming back to the Ton next season somehow.
And she's on IMDb for season 4.
Exactly. So if Cressida is coming back, she's bringing her cousin and her maid.
Mm-hmm. And it could be like maybe Cressida doesn't go to the ball, but like the maid who is Earl's daughter wants to go to the ball and it's a masquerade. So she uses it as like an excuse to get there. I don't know. We'll let them figure that part out. But I really do think that Cressida and Sophie will be related somehow. If it turns out to be a Sharma situation, like a Gunningworth situation, then like so be it. But
maybe Sophie was sent to Aunt Jo years ago and Cressida just never knew. Because obviously this dad is willing to get rid of kids like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So maybe Aunt Jo has had Sophie this whole time.
Oh, and she treats her like shit.
Yeah, of course. And maybe, because Aunt Jo seems like she's like very judgmental. So she pretty much maybe she's like the evil Amarantha in this
Amarantha,
show.
Yeah. This is it. This is the one. We got it. All right. So now I feel content about Sophie because we all told you just who she is. And because this, like you said, this child was sent or it's a servant or whatever the case is, she does not have to look like Cressida because maybe they're not related.
Exactly. If they're half siblings, or technically in the book, they're not related, but maybe in this show, they might be half siblings.
Or she could just be someone that is under her care.
Yeah. That too. Something's there.
You know what else I read, which I hate this theory, but I will give a voice to it, that instead of season 4 being a Cinderella story, it's going to be a Rapunzel story, and Cressida is locked in her tower and Benedict saves her.
Oh no, please no.
I was like, this is
Benedict
the worst thing I've
better
ever
than
heard.
that.
No, that's a no from me. Okay, so let's just go through each character, like I said, and then you got to tell me what you think after I tell you what I think, okay?
Got it.
So, Anthony and Kate, confirmed for season 4.
They're confirmed. I really didn't think they would be back. I thought we were just gonna hear about them.
Well, at least Simone Ashley is confirmed. Oh. So I really do think that I think we'll see them in at least 2 episodes.
Really?
What I wrote was that maybe for John's death, but I don't know if John's gonna die. But like something dramatic, something big, like for Benedict's wedding or like something. But I do think that they'll be in India for the majority of the season.
Agree. I think so too.
Yeah. Do you think they'll show India?
I don't know. After you told me what you told me, I feel like it'd be a really tricky. Maybe they will, but like you said, it's not a good time. It's not a good time.
I mean,
unless they're just pretending, since everything is pretend in this
that's
world
what
sometimes.
I'm gonna say. Like, I don't even think that Regency London was that great a time, but like I'm obsessed with it. So maybe they'll make us like obsessed with Regency India.
I don't think we're gonna see. I mean, because even you telling me that they might be here is really shocking to me, because I really thought, if anything, we're just getting a letter from them. But I wonder if it'll be like a minute scene like that, like how you said, even with the whole John of it all. Like maybe when everybody finds out John died. I don't think he's dying this season though, so this doesn't even matter, I guess. But like I feel like we're gonna see a clip of everybody. Yeah, where we're just seeing everybody's reaction, just like how it was when we found out with Colin and Penn getting engaged. How we saw every household reaction. I feel like that's like the scenes that we would kind of get with them. Maybe like them reacting to stuff at home, like, oh my God, we got, and
maybe they'll bring their baby back. Like maybe we'll get to meet the new baby.
Maybe we get to see something like that. Like maybe at the Bridgerton house, Anthony coming with Kate. Yeah, I could see that. But I feel like their story is just going to be very minute, if anything.
Agreed. So Benedict, obviously it's his season. We'll get the most Benedict, whatever. Colin,
100%.
I'm hoping we get some marital bliss with Penelope.
That's what I'm thinking. I feel like it's going to be like this season with Kate and Anthony. That's what we're going to get with them.
I hope he eats a lot more food. Like
yes, that was like his character flaw he didn't have in the show. Like in the book, he's always hungry.
And I do think that we talked about this last time, that the Queen is going to have issues with Penn, and I think they're going to like navigate that somehow. But hopefully Colin will be way more supportive than he has been in this past season. Maybe that'll make up for it.
Agree. I wonder if now that he has his book out of the way, if he's going to join in on Penn's like situation, like on her job. Not that I'm saying that he's going to start reporting, but maybe like writing in too and helping her in some way, because they both have that passion for writing, unless he's going to write another book. But I feel like he just might join in on her ventures.
Maybe they'll go travel and he'll have more travel diaries to write about.
There you go. That's a good one. So that's why I was saying I feel like it's going to be like a Kate and Anthony situation. They're in and out of the season a lot.
Yes, agreed. So Daphne, I don't think she's going to be in it.
She's never coming back.
Never coming back, this baby. All right, Eloise. She's going to come back from Scotland. One question that I had for you is, like, you know how they always go to the countryside and then they come back? Which, okay, hold on a second. I thought that's what happens. During the summer, they go to the country and then they come back. So it's the fall. But everybody's saying that Bridgerton's always taking place in the spring. And this one's going to be in the fall.
I was always wondering about that. You know me, I'm really bad with this time, what time it is, what season we're in. Like, I'm just eating what they're giving me. But I was wondering that too, because like you said, they do leave and then come back at a specific time.
But do you think we'll see Scotland? Or do you think they'll just come back? You think so too? Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to get at least a couple scenes of them in Scotland and like what is happening there. And then...
Yeah. Because I even think if Eloise comes back, it doesn't necessarily mean that Fran and John are coming back, because their home is in Scotland.
Exactly. I think Eloise is going to come back and we're going to get the masquerade ball. Probably episode 1 will end with him seeing the lady in silver or some shit like that.
Like Benedict seeing the lady in silver? Yes. Who's the lady? Oh, okay. That's what Sophie was wearing. I forgot. I just remember she was wearing, I think the maids gave her the dress. It's very Cinderella story.
Yeah. I think that's what he calls her, right? The lady in silver.
I really need to reread these books. I read them in April and it feels like 10 years ago, especially how much I read now. I'm up to 61 books out of 100. I'm trying to read it this year. I always set a goal of 100 books, guys. I'm a book nerd. Well, a romance study book nerd.
I love that. It's so funny. My mom's talking to me about the Duke and I, like these intricate plot details. And I was like, that happens? Wait, that happens?
I'm definitely due for the Duke and I, because I haven't read that one since the season came out. When did the show first come out?
2020.
So yeah, 2020 was the last time I read it.
Exactly same. And life was very different back then.
Oh yeah.
A lot didn't stick in here. I also said Maria's going to die. She's going to start writing letters to Philip Crane. Francesca, I said no awkwardness with Michaela yet. I think John is gonna either be with her or, you know, something's gonna happen to him, but like I think they're just gonna be like not that relevant for the season. It'll just be like they're around, but it's not for them yet.
Yeah.
Gregory is
agree.
gonna go to Eton.
Oh, it's kind of sad that he's leaving us.
I know. So I don't know if he's really gonna be that present in this season, but like I think it makes sense for him to go to Eton. And like, no offense to the guy that plays Gregory, I do think there's a chance that when he comes back, it'll be a different character, like a different actor.
Oh, dang. I could see that happening because they need to age a little. Because we said this before in previous episodes, even with the Francesca actress, like the one that we have now seems more mature. I couldn't see the actress we had before having this role with John.
Absolutely. So, and then Hyacinth, I was questioning whether or not she'll debut, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either because they still kind of treat her, as like a young girl.
So maybe in Eloise's season, if that is what happens next, Hyacinth will debut. And that'll be so cute.
So cute.
So then we can see, like, you know, what's happening with Eloise at the greenhouse plant place that she's at, you know, the Crane estate, and then what's happening in Mayfair with Hyacinth and her stuff.
Oh, so cute. I need to read her book. I really do. Oh, maybe we'll get Lady Danbury's, what is it, grandson?
Yeah, right, Gareth. That's
maybe we'll
Gareth
start
is, right, guys?
I have not read that book, so I do not know myself.
Gareth St. Clair. I know his name. I also remember like 2 scenes from the book, but that's it.
You know more than me.
So then I did write down some moments that I think season 4 might have based on the book. Do you think that he's going to save her from a bad situation and bring her back to London, Sophie?
Honestly, I would like to see it. It wasn't my favorite scene, but I feel like we haven't had a scene like that I think we did, I guess kind of like in The Duke and I, because you know how he kind of helps her in that moment, but we haven't had a scene like that in a few seasons where we're seeing like a man actually help a woman in a tight situation like that. It wasn't my favorite in the book, but I think it would make the women swoon for Benedict. So I hope he does.
Yeah, truly. Because he's not the manly one. Like, not that that's not a manly thing, but you know what I mean? Like, he's not the overtly like,
he's usually like he's like the free spirited kind of guy, and this is like a very serious moment and a protective moment. I would love to see Benedict react like that.
Do you think he'll be living by himself at my cottage?
Probably. I mean, well, it depends because if Anthony and Kate are still gone, probably not. He'll
be acting Viscount.
Exactly.
And then I also really hope that he starts painting again, because
me too.
Give us artist Benedict back.
I know, because I was surprised that we didn't really get that this season, but he had his art passion in the last season. So I know you told me he was upset that Anthony had gotten him into that school, so he felt like he didn't earn that place. So I got to rewatch that to remember that. But like you said, I hope he gets back into that passion, because that's the Benedict we get in the books. Like, he still likes to draw even after years have passed and he hasn't seen Sophie. He still likes that.
Yeah.
So his outlet. And in these seasons, we haven't seen that part of him. It's almost like with Colin, we haven't seen his fat assery.
He loves the fat assery.
He loves to eat. We barely got that. And that was like such a quirky thing of him.
Yeah. I think it's funny because if you're thinking about tropes of like what the trope is going to be, obviously it's a Cinderella story, which is a trope, but I love that it's love at first sight, but it's also a love triangle between the woman that he saw once and fell in love with and the woman that's in front of him, who is Sophie, and they both are the same girl.
Same person.
I really hope they like play into that. Like, give us a love triangle where both women are the same.
Yeah, and I like that in the book. It's like you said, love at first sight, but not even at first sight. It's just like, because he doesn't know how she looks.
Oh yeah,
he just loves, like, I guess her aura or her, like, the way she flirted with him.
Love at first interaction.
Yeah, so I want to get that romantic side, but then I just don't know how that's going to be, because the way the season ended, like, Benedict doesn't look like he was ready for that, but maybe Sophie just shocks the hell out of him so much that he feels like he has found the one. But right now, he just seems like he's in a place where he doesn't want to find the one. So I'm curious about that too.
It just occurred to me. Wait, what if it's a masquerade ball and she's wearing a mask and like a cape, and he doesn't know if it's a woman or a man.
Oh, that would be nice. That's a fun little twist of it all too, where it's like almost gender changing too, and maybe that was like her way of hiding and sneaking in.
Yeah, like he doesn't know. Oh my God. Like, what is that? Shakespeare in Love.
Oh yeah, yeah, Shakespeare in Love, where she has to pretend to be a man to be an
Yeah.
actor.
Oh.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I
Oh,
like that
that could be
movie. Now you're making me
fun.
want to watch it.
Oh my God, I love Shakespeare in Love so
It's so
much.
good. It's so
Maybe
good.
it's giving like Mulan and Shang-Li. Like, are if you're
Oh
Ping,
yeah.
we're cool with it. If you're Mulan, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm excited. I really want to meet Sophie already. I'm just ready for that storyline.
Me too. Huh. I suddenly made myself feel better about all of this.
I
Like,
know, because last time you were kicking yourself with our theories. You're like, I'm so wrong about everything.
all right. Do you want to read some of the
Yes, let me get into it. Okay. So the first one that we actually got off of Threads, it's from John Loves. He says, I'm with the majority and expecting season 4 to be Benedict's season. I am hoping for the stories to spread beyond Mayfair, which we do too, with
Mhm.
some scenes set in Scotland, given both Fran and Eloise stories development. I think that Lady Whistledown may have some further plot twists to come and that could involve Cressida returning to society. Oh, that's what we said. I didn't read any of these guys because I didn't want it to change my sway.
Influence.
Yes, of my own theory. So I'm like being shocked with you guys. And then the next thing they say is not sure whether that will be a changed woman or more of her villain behavior. That's true.
Ooh, spicy. Huh.
But I but it's funny, we didn't actually say what we think Lady Whistledown will become. I guess I kind of touched on it a little bit, but that's a good way. Like we don't know if she's still going to be playing like the villainous kind of role where she's like checkmate to you, queen or whatever. But
Uh-huh.
I guess now that the queen knows it's Penn, I feel like she wouldn't be so blatant
Yeah.
to
Like I feel like
disrespect the
it's
queen.
she doesn't
Yeah.
have the anonymity anymore. Like you can't just
Yeah.
be saying whatever you want.
Because the queen will come for your ass.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I mean, I'm hoping Penn is a changed woman.
And who knows, maybe she'll feel bad for Cressida and like this person said, help Cressida come back into society.
I can see that too. Because I feel like Penn is definitely a forgiving woman. And especially
Agreed.
if Cressida comes from Wales, saying that Wales has changed me, maybe I can see Lady Whistledown giving her like a redemption arc a little bit. But we kind of gave her a little redemption arc this season and she still fucked us over.
That's true. Did we get a comment like who's a bigger villain, Penn or Cressida?
Oh, yes. It was a message in our DMs, but it was from our friend, that Rican 33.
Our first follower, guys.
Yes, we
He's
love you.
always
Thank
looking out.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, he's been here since day one. David, his
Mm-hmm.
name is David. Yeah, he sent us a message, and it was really like everything he was saying was very accurate because in the beginning, Penn was a little villainous with her Lady Whistledown articles, and she knew what she was doing, even to her own friend, and even with the whole Marina situation. So I'm hoping, because of even how this season ended, that Penn has changed, but she was giving villain energy.
Mm, agreed.
What's that one saying? Something about
Oh,
the hero becoming the villain
the
situation.
Batman one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I feel like that was Penn, but she was starting at the villainess. She was like, I'm coming for all you guys that were mean to me all these years.
wait, I now need
The quote.
yeah. Oh, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. From The
That's Penn.
Dark Knight, the best movie.
I know that one was so good. I'm so sad anytime I watch that movie though.
I went through
R.I.P.
such a phase. Like I was obsessed with all things Batman. My car's name was Bruce. Like it was a thing.
Oh my God, I was just so sad about Heath Ledger because I was
I
like a
can't
Heath
believe
Ledger
it.
girly forever. Like since as soon as I could watch a movie, honestly, I was like 10 Things I Hate About You. I love like
Love
what's that one where he's like the knight? I think it's called The Knight or like
A Knight's Tale.
yeah, that one was so good. Like there's
Obsessed.
so many good ones.
Oh yeah, gone too soon.
Truly. So our next one is from Hannah Moon. I hope I'm saying that right. But they said Penn alludes to there possibly being some fallout from the Lady Whistledown reveal, which I know you were thinking something might come up from that before. Even in this season, we were like, how was the ton going to accept that?
Yeah, something spicy about to happen.
Yes. And then they say, but I'm hoping they don't stress those two out too much season 4. Me too. We need a happy Colin and Penn because we did not get enough of that this season. And then he says, definitely think they'll use Lady Whistledown to help find Sophie. Hoping Ben asks his new sister
Oh,
for help with this. And I do like that theory. I think
that's good.
yeah, I feel like Ben could probably be like, I need to find this Sophie girl, and maybe Lady Whistledown writing about something like, oh, Benedict Bridgerton looked a little busy during the masquerade ball.
I love that.
I do love that. That's so
That's
good.
good. That's good.
And then they put also possibly that Marina passes. Yay, we're all on the same page here, guys. Marina's passing this season, unfortunately. And both Penn and Colin invite Sir Philip to stay at the Featherington house for a time. It would put him on Elle's path as they are just across the road and she can make her escape to find him in the finale. I
Ooh.
don't know if Sir Philip is going to stay at the Featherington house. I don't think that's a possibility, but I do think that their connection with Marina being, related to a Penn, that's how Eloise is going to find out about this. And maybe she thinks to write him like, condolences.
Yeah. Maybe
And then
they'll
it just
go
becomes a
visit
friendship.
him. Like maybe that'll be a scene like Colin and Penn go to
Oh,
visit
yeah.
Sir
Yeah,
Philip
yeah.
so we can see him in like his pre-hot moment because
Yeah.
like, the men just definitely go through boot camp before their
They
own
really
season.
do. Shonda's like, it's your time, baby. Time to get into shape.
But yeah, that would be a nice touch. And Colin's obviously, I mean, he's over Marina, but they both felt some kind of way towards Marina. So that would be a nice
Yeah.
touch.
And I feel like Penn did have like a genuine relationship with Marina. She was definitely
Exactly.
nicer to her than anybody else until she realized Marina was coming for her man. Then she was like, not today, girl.
Mm-hmm.
But because that's the only thing I didn't like too much about this season. Because last season we get to see that Eloise does like to write a lot. We see because everybody's speculating she's Lady Whistledown. So we're seeing her writing letters, we're seeing her do things. And then this season it was like 180. She wasn't even writing anybody a letter, or at least we never saw that. So I wish they would have continued with that because then it would have looked more natural for Eloise to start writing to Sir Philip because it just looks like, oh, she just added another person to her roster.
Mm. I feel like maybe that goes back to her feeling invisible or her feeling she was playing a role. And then she'll go back to like go to Scotland and come back normal, like
Renewed.
regular old Eloise.
Yes. Okay, so the next one I got, it was on Instagram from one of our followers. Her name is Nikki. She said, ooh, season 4. I definitely think it'll be about Benedict. Again, I'm happy we're all on the same page.
Agreed.
And she's like, I think that he's going to think he's happy living this wild and free lifestyle. And somehow along the way, he'll meet Sophie and we'll see their love story play out. And possibly towards the end of the season, Eloise will meet Philip. I'm happy again. We're all on the same page. We're hoping it's leading this way between Benedict and Sophie and possibly Eloise and Sir Philip.
Love it.
Um, yes. And then let's see. I really want to see more of Paulin in season 4, married and all loving towards each other. Personally, they're my favorite couple. Who do you, oh, she asked me a question. Who do you think season 4 will be about? Here you go.
You're right. Benedict. That's who we want.
Yes,
I think
Benedict.
with Francesca coming in, obviously she was a great addition, all of that stuff, but we already have been invested in A, B, C, E for this whole time. Like, you got to give us these letters before we even get to F. Like,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
Francesca, wait your turn. You just got here, boo boo.
No, for sure. But that's why I feel because even in books, like Francesca, even though her story is with Michael, we never see this John stuff, but it's always in the background of a lot of the other books. Like I think it's in the background of Eloise and a little bit of Penn's.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what they have been setting us up for, that little backstory before they fully give us Fran. But like you said, she need to wait her turn because we need Benedict and Eloise.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So the next one that we got is off of Threads from Maureen Hewitt. I hope I'm saying that right. She said season 4 will be Benedict season. Yay, Benedict is the winner. But I don't think the masquerade ball will be episode 1. I do wonder if Marina will die next season and if John will die at the end of the season. I think we haven't seen the end of Cressida. Agree to a lot of that. I do think that the masquerade is not going to be the first episode either because we still have to give Eloise and Fran some time in Scotland.
That's fair.
Yeah, because she says she's not coming back until the masquerade ball. So we still need her time. I think it will be maybe if they do split this into 2 parts, I think the masquerade would probably be like part 2, episode 5.
What?
Yeah, like the first
Babes,
part.
how is he gonna search for Sophie if he meets her 2 episodes before it's over?
I just feel like they're gonna mess with us, and because they still have to show us like Eloise and Fran in Scotland. So we still gotta give them a whole ass time. So I feel like in those first 4 episodes, it might be like Benedict getting to be free. But yeah, I feel like we still have a lot to see of Benedict acting crazy, like still being free before it settles with Sophie. Maybe it's episode 3. I'll say that.
I will give you that. I will give you 3. I just feel like I would be really sad if Sophie is not introduced until like part 2 because the season's about Benedict and Sophie, you know?
Yeah. I don't know because I feel like I do see that. I keep saying I don't know. I think it's mainly because I'm still trying to think like, are we not going to see Scotland then?
I think we'll see it in episode 1. I think it's just going to be like this is what happened in Scotland. And then like Eloise will like maybe we'll watch Eloise come back. And then episode 2 will be the masquerade ball.
Okay. I don't know. I'm so lost
Well, like
and I don't
let
know.
me like because in my head it's like when Cressida said like Eloise and I became close over the summer like during the country like in the country. We didn't see the country at all, but
Yeah.
like they just said like this is time passed and this is what happened. And she said, it's just the summer. Like, I'm only going for the summer. I'll be back. So I feel like we don't really see the summers usually.
No, but I was hoping because, Eloise is trying to find herself and so is Fran and John. Like I was hoping we would see that before Eloise comes back. But
I
now
see.
that I'm saying it in episode wise, I'm like, oh God, then we would never get anywhere.
Exactly.
So
Benefit
now I'm
would
like, I
never
don't
actually
know.
get off the ground.
I'm like, is this going to be a filler season? No, I doubt that. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm so
Maybe they'll
lost.
do this was not gonna happen at all, but what if they did a spin-off of like what happened in Scotland? Like an
That would be
Eloise little
cool.
mini season.
Because I feel like the way even Benedict left off, like for him to automatically fall in love with Sophie episode 2 is almost like contradicting his whole season 3.
But that's
But
what
I
I'm
want to be
saying.
free.
What if he doesn't know?
But
Like
Benedict is
he
like
doesn't know
in
what to
love
do.
when he sees Sophie. Like
But
even
like
if he doesn't know if it's a girl or guy, that's fine. But like he's instantly like, that's my woman. Like he was even going to the house to propose, like to call on her.
yeah,
So
that's
like the
true.
way he's acting now doesn't seem like he wants to call on anybody. And if he is calling, he's
Yeah.
calling for a threesome.
That
So
is
I'm like,
true. You
so
have
it's like
made some valid
crazy.
points here, Lady Ellie.
So that's why I'm
Mm.
just like now I'm like I'm confused. Like how it's not the same Benedict. It's not the same Benedict.
He did say, I think the next thing I learn will change me entirely. Maybe they'll just like really, he means it quite literally.
Like literally in 2 months.
2 months, he's like, wait a second,
I
just
want to get this
kidding.
girl. I think I want to marry her.
But maybe it'll go back to like, I want you to be my mistress. Like maybe he's just like, I want to like hang
Well,
out with you, but
he
I don't
is,
want to marry you.
that's true. He is strong about the mistress of it all. I hate that.
Men do be doing that.
I guess him wanting a mistress is more accurate than him falling in love.
Yes. Like
But in
maybe
the
he falls
book,
in love, but he doesn't want to get married.
yeah, but in the book, like the only reason why he even says the mistress thing is because he thinks like Sophie's like technically society wise below
Yeah.
him. Like it has nothing
Yeah.
to do with his love. So
Right.
that's like also different. I don't know. Now I'm confused myself.
Is it weird that I really hope we get the scene where he gets sick and she like helps him back to health? Like
I
it
would
happens
like
in a
that.
lot of the books, but I
I know I
really
was about to
like
say,
this one.
even with Michaela, technically Michael, that happens. So I'm like,
Right.
it's gonna have to be one or the
And
other.
Philip Crane. Eloise
Oh
is sick.
yeah. That's true. Dang, there's a lot of repeats.
But this is the one where I'm like, can we get this?
Yeah. Okay, so our next
Oh.
one is on Instagram on our video that we posted from Mocha Melissa. She says, I want Penn and Colin to have happy married time. Agree. We need it. We
Hard
haven't seen
agree.
it, but we need it. And then she says, but also a strong narrative arc. I don't want them to fade away now that Whistledown has been revealed. I've also heard season 4 will be in the fall rather than the spring, like season 1 through 3. And I can't wait for the new aesthetic, which is what you were kind of saying.
I'm so confused. Okay, you know what? We need to look this up. The internet has spoken because I'm very confused about this. So the social season goes from about March to August, unlike the real world Regency era in Bridgerton. And we know this from dates we've seen on invites on screen. This is somebody on Reddit saying this. On the show, they spend their off season, which is fall winter, in their country homes. Where in this case, it says the season from the Regency era lasted between winter and spring when Parliament was in session in London. High society used their time in town to see and be seen at an endless whirl of balls, assemblies, dinners, and entertainments. In this way, the season acted as a marriage market for the elite. And that's according to National Geographic.
Interesting.
So it's supposed to be winter, spring, and then they leave for the summer, which is what I always thought because that's Regency shit. But this is spring, summer, and then they leave for the winter, fall. So maybe they won't go to the country this time. They'll stay at. But no, she's throwing a ball. She's throwing a ball. She's throwing a fall ball.
Interesting.
This
maybe
is too confusing.
I'm confused.
I am confusion. But you know what? We're going with it.
I'll eat up whatever they give me at this point.
I would love a fall aesthetic, though.
I know we haven't seen it, so it'd be something fresh and new.
Imagine the colors Kate would wear.
Oh, yes. We already know. She's going to look stunning.
Stunning.
We did it at the same time. Stunning.
Stunning.
Okay, so the next one I got is from Salem Book Nerd. It says, I really want to see some Regency era baby issues. I know in that time they would use wet nurses and nannies, but I would think Colin and Penn would want to be more hands-on with their kids. I'm imagining any cliche I've seen in a movie or show about new parents would just hit even funnier in Bridgerton. Then they write, like, Lady Bridgerton comes to visit and the maids are like, they won't let us help. And you then see Colin and Penn trying everything they can think of to get the baby to stop crying.
I'm obsessed with that. That's
I know.
really good.
That would be cute. I would love to see that. And I do feel like Colin and Penn would be more hands-on than ever.
And I read this somewhere too, but Eloise being in her aunt era also ties into her story because she needs to start really liking kids for her to then want to adopt some.
True. Yes, especially with their situation. Very interesting. Okay, and the last one we have is from That's What's on Top.
That's what's on top.
That's what's on top. And so they write, oh my God, season 4 has so many possibilities. Of course, we know it's Benedict's season, but I feel we will get a glimpse of how Eloise and Lord Crane connect. I'd love to see Violet's relationship bloom with Lord Anderson. Lastly, how will Penelope's writing evolve now that the Ton knows she's Lady Whistledown? Agree to all of that. I want all of it.
Agreed. That last part, though, I mean, it's still not computing in my brain. I feel like I'm going to have to go with Ellie on this one because I don't understand the logistics of putting your name on something like, unless you have the personality of Perez Hilton, which in my opinion, Penelope doesn't. So I would love to see just how spicy this article is going to be because I would be scared shitless to say the wrong thing.
I know, because people will know it's you and they're looking at you like you wrote about me in this last article.
Especially like the Featheringtons were already like questionable, but you a Bridgerton now.
Maybe that's what will fuel her ego because she has the backing of the Bridgertons.
What did she write in that letter to Violet? The fact they didn't tell us that, I'm real mad about that.
I think she pretty much was like, I'm Lady Whistledown and I need your help.
I mean, yeah. But what did Violet do?
She looked a little mad when she saw it, but then at the same time, I think even Colin says she was like, what the heck? But then like, wow, she had some balls on her.
Like maybe it's just like, I am going to tell you that I'm about to do this. I guess that's all it was, but I don't know.
Interesting though. I loved it. I'm so happy we did this theories episode and I'm happy we got some replies back from you guys and seeing that we're all on the same page that it's Benedict's season next season, baby.
That was so fun to get comments because yeah, it's fun for us to talk about it, but then to like get people's perspective like across, you know, multiple platforms, like we're all thinking the same thing. Yes. And we hope you enjoyed hearing that on here too. It actually brings me to, guys, I think we're going to take a hiatus after this, by the way. So next Tuesday, we won't have an episode, and then we'll start again the next Tuesday. And I think we're going to do season 1, right?
That works
season
for
1
me.
rewatch.
I haven't seen it since 2020.
So season 1 rewatch. And then hopefully it's 8 episodes, 8 weeks. You have 8 weeks to read The Duke and I with us. Do you think that'll be season 2 of our podcast?
I guess we could, or yeah, because this is the end of it. Oh my God, it's so weird to think it's the end of a season.
That's wild.
We did it, P. We did it.
We did the damn thing. I'm so proud of us. Good job, Ellie.
I know. Good job, P.
Thank you.
I'm proud of us too.
Well, thank you to everybody that has been listening. And it has been an honor to do this for you guys, help you in your little Bridgerton void in your heart.
Yes. I love our little community. It's beautiful. And I love the messages you guys send us online. And I love reading it and commenting on everything. I love it. Thank you guys for supporting us and being on this journey with us.
And the memes.
And the memes
are very near and dear to our heart.
Yes. Yes, we love it.
Well, on that note, we'll see you
the following Tuesdays.
Yeah. Following Tuesday for tea time.
Yes, see you guys next time. Love ya.
Bye. And that was Tea Time with P and E.
If you guys want to chit chat with us, you can find us at Instagram and on TikTok at Out in Society. And we're also streaming on all podcast platforms.
If you enjoy our podcast and you like what you hear, please feel free to leave us a review. We would love to hear your feedback so that we can keep getting better.
See you guys out in society.